welcome back to the 6th day of the Cybersecurity Advent Calendar. Today is Saint Nicholas Day. It's celebrated across many European countries. Children often leave the shoes or boots the night before, and then in the morning Nikolaus has filled it with something like candies or small gifts or a chocolate or a fruit.
Saint Nicolaus was known for his generosity and care for children and the poor. He's actually the inspiration for today's Santa Claus.
Well, as always, let's discover what's behind the door number 6. FWAAS.
Before we take a look at the FWAAS, we're going to look at another acronym, and that's the NGFW. They are kind of related, and it stands for Next Generation Firewall. During the 1990s and early 2000, company was using traditional firewalls, and they were usually filtering traffic based on IP addresses, ports, and protocols, for instance TCP and UDP. And they could manage stateful inspection, that is, keeping track of session status. But the problem which arose was that when applications started to be run over traditional HTTP and HTTPS, the classic firewalls were in principle blind for what was going on. Everything looked like normal web traffic. This is where the next generation firewall came in. Palo Alto released the concept and launched the first next generation firewall product in 2007. Gartner was quick to pick it up, the concept, and defined officially next generation firewall as a product category in 2009. And since then, of course, other vendors have been following and releasing their next generation firewall products. And the purpose was is combining traditional network filtering with application and user awareness. So next generation firewall added application identification. So to see which application was actually being used, independent which protocol or port it was using. And user identification, connecting the traffic to a user via, for instance, Active Directory. It added also intrusion prevention systems to inspect the traffic for known signatures, SSL inspection to analyze the encrypted traffic, and also integrating with threat intelligence to block potential harmful IP addresses and domains dynamically. In short, next generation firewall was walking from stopping packet to understand behavior and applications. So what about FWAAS, which is Firewall as a Service? Traditionally, you were using security via physical or virtual firewalls in the data center. Traditionally, you were running security in physical or virtual firewalls in the data center. But there were some challenges. Capacity. There were more and more users and more applications and more encrypted traffic. You had to replace the hardware all the time because you had to have the power in the hardware to manage all that. Bottlenecks. All traffic was hairpinned through the data center firewall, which of course created latency and a worse experience for the users. In complexity, every new site, even region or user group, they require their own rules and VPN tunnels. And to add to this, the cost, adding new appliances all the time and the maintenance of these, and also the failover licenses. So with Firewall as a Service, all this moved to the cloud. It became a global distributed firewall platform. And with that, you could scale automatically, and the requirements, there was no hardware to replace. And you can get the same policy and security level everywhere. As it was cloud and global, it was delivered close to the user and not through a central data center. It was consistent, updated with threat intelligence and signatures. So basically, you replace the hardware headaches with elastic cloud power. And Gartner sees Firewall as a Service as a SASE component today under the Secure Service Edge.
firewall as a service, especially in the cloud. Learn a little every day. See you tomorrow.